Welcome back to Factorio building the Hyperbase. I haven't spent very long since last time, but I've done a couple of things. Basically, I've brought down a bunch of beacons and so on, just so the factory up above can, our starter base can work on making a few more. I also have cleared out a little bit more area just to see what we're dealing with. I was kind of hoping that we'd find a patch of oil somewhere over here. A nice good one, because obviously what we do have up here, which seems to be all we've got on this side, they're just these two 90s, and we're using most of 190 just for one of these facilities, and I need 4, so that's not great. I mean, when this gets high enough, I guess we can get 2 out of it, but that's going to take a while. Those are stations. I've got to be a little bit careful. I don't just want to expand area forever, because that starts impacting on game performance as well, although I do have a decent amount of RAM on this computer, albeit it's an old computer. We're in our 4th, I think, column here, and it looks like we're completing the third rung, so I'm pretty sure I'm still going with the idea that we'll do 5, we're just about up to 500k, yeah, we'll do 5 columns, maybe 6, and then I will flip this whole thing on its head, come up here somewhere, and have it build out back down this way, so that we get a nice self-contained area. Those, 280,000, but that's so far away from anything. If we have to use these facilities that are a long way away, I guess I would be looking at shipping oil in, but I don't really like that option, because oil, now that they've nerfed the fluid wagons and the barrels, transporting oil on the scale we're doing is not a lot of fun. I just want to process it locally and ship the end results. Because I mean, if you look at what you actually do with something like oil when you're turning it into plastic, for example, so aside from all of this processing where you're mixing it with other ingredients like water, you're also mixing the end ingredients with coal, and that's then giving you a final ingredient. So there's a lot of inputs that you have to ship to the location where you want for the one more condensed output. So I'd rather just ship the condensed output than all the intermediates, if that kind of makes sense. I mean, even this is, it's a fair hike over here, given that that is maximum scroll out. So we haven't extended as broadly as my prior base, and in fact we won't. There's no need to, which that should be good for UPS, but I do need to find that extra oil somewhere around here. So we'll keep looking. Anyway, something else I checked out on while we were going between the episode was I used that rather awesome little tool, the max rate calculator, that I added to the system, and I'm going to do it again for you guys. So we've got these 2 stacks of red green, and they are used to make the processing units and speed module 1s, and this will do an analysis over all the machines, and what it comes out with is we actually have quite a deficit of green circuits. We need 89,000 per minute. This lot will produce 58,000 per minute, meaning that we are about 30,000 per minute light. So I think what I need to do is take this middle one and convert it completely over just to green circuits, And then this one and this one, this is not actually spare anymore. They become the process inputs to here. This one just does green circuits and sends a green circuit train in either direction. And I think that will sort us out. But it's not a priority. We won't be getting our 4,000 a minute, but I won't be at 4,000 science a minute for quite a while anyway, since I need 4 oil facilities, and I've only got, well, sorry, I mean, we've obviously got oil over here as well doing things, but we need 4 of these original oil facilities, and we need to revise this whole oil design as well, but we need 4 of these oil facilities, well, mainly the rocket fuel in terms of the redesign. 4 of these facilities, we've got 1, so until we can get that up to 4, we'll be throttled at around 2,000 science per minute. And if I don't sort out a fueling strategy for all of this, we'll be throttled even more than that. So yeah, there's a few considerations there. All of that's a very interesting preamble, but it's not helping us here. So what I think I want to do is, we'll leave this for the moment. We'll just note that's something to do. In fact, there's actually a mod called the to-do list, which it would probably help me remember exactly where I'm up to with this space, because this is a pretty huge base. And between times, I'm finishing off my train controller that I used in my last playthrough. It's a lot more robust and working, and I've got a number of closed alpha testers working on it to help me get it ready for public release, and so there's that. I'm also working on an extension or an expansion pack to SpaceX, so that should be pretty exciting as well. Not just, oh, now you need another 20 items that need to go up into space. It's not of that nature. It's you'll actually need to build in space special orbital industries to support what you're doing, and there'll be some things that have nothing to do with completing the game per se that you can get out of that process. So yes, that's happening as well. So I'm doing a couple of things in the background as well as playing this game and thinking about my next playthrough, and I think my next playthrough is likely to be A, using the train controller, and B, will have to be SpaceX plus my new extension mod to test it out. So there you go. Not that I'm in any way, I'm actually very excited about the point we're getting to here, because we'll soon be up to fast science, and there's a lot of interesting challenges ahead, optimizing the factory as we push towards 80k, 8k at 60 UPS grown organically instead of using creative mode. Right, this is where I want to be. That's not on. Good. Okay, last time I think we got to a point, finally, what are we, about quarter of an hour in, almost 10 minutes anyway. Did we get these set to the right? No, we did not. So we didn't have the right formula there. This one was the electric engines, wasn't it? It was going to be the electric engines. So we were in the middle of this planner. We realized we needed 43 electric engines, and they needed these items here for support. So 43 was going to be sort of 22 and 20, or I might even make it just 2 lots of 22. How do I pin? Which one's the pin? There was a pin, wasn't there? Is that it? Pin. That pins the whole thing. Does it give me what I actually need to know? Kind of. Kind of. Alright, we'll leave that pin for just a moment. I had fun trying to get rid of that last time, I think. But so, 43 And on the other side we have 36 from the looks of things, which is interesting. Yes, that is interesting. Okay, so what did we end up laying it down here? $23. Okay. So I probably want to lose one. So we don't overbuild by too much. Or do I go, okay, we've got 23, so I need 20 up here. Which could do something like this. Just get rid of that one. And just get rid of this one. And all the rest of these now will be overshooting, but that's probably okay. All of these can be electric engines. Now, yes, we need lube. That's right. Better not forget these things. Okay. Lube. Well, you're getting removed anyway, so it doesn't matter what you're doing. And down here, if we want 6 kind of in, well, sorry, not 6, 5, we probably want these things dotted in. Well, do we actually want them all in the middle? I think that's what I did in my last factory, but then we were only dealing with a 383, so it wasn't that far from either end of the machine. But it probably would actually make more sense if we spaced it evenly along. So 23s, you're basically dealing with one section of 7 and 2 of 8. So a section of 7 in the middle. So in a section of 8 machines, starting from here, you want the middle one, which I might actually emphasize slightly outside. That should be a pipe machine. Right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that was the first block. Then this is a block of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this one here should be a pipe. And then coming in from this end, 1, 2, 3, 4, to emphasize the wings a little bit more, you should be pipe. So that way, so the iron will be flying in all these directions to feed the iron consumers, and their output is available sort of all the way along the line rather than just in the middle. That's what I'm trying to do. So 23 divided by 2 is 11.5, which basically means we would want to go, let's say, 6 in from each end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So U should be a gear wheel. Am I explaining what I'm doing clearly enough? Gear wheel, and then on the other side, unfortunately they're different multipliers, so I don't have conflict on the same machines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and obviously we want them as close to the train lines as possible. So that's these things. Now all the rest of the machines should be engine units that we have on the side. And we only need 31 in total. And that's 23 minus 5 is 18. So there's only 13 on the top, which is interesting. It means we lose 5 from each end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. Which then suggests that my strategy with these might not be as well conceived as I thought, but you never know. Let's just run with it for now. We can change these concepts later if we need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And everything else is a normal engine. No, that's not what I wanted. Go back there. I just wanted to get out. Okay. Where I'd been trapped. Now, it's not quite so easy to do it up here. 1. That one stays. That one changes. That one stays. Oops, that is supposed to be a gear wheel. That's why I was trying to do it carefully. You need to be an engine. Engine, gear wheel, engine, pipe, gear, engine, engine, engine. All right, so we have done the engines and the electric engines, except we haven't done the lube. I don't even have a supply of lube down here, but what are we going to do exactly? I probably need this pathway. Well, I know one thing that we're going to do, and that is we obviously need to allow for lubing the build up. So let's do that. I don't need that. Let's just just sort out this piping. It will get sorted out when I next throw my bots on. Okay, cool. They're fine. So let's come down to where we set up steel furnaces. No. Making steel furnaces. We need 22, which I think is just one length, isn't it? Did I make this 22, or did I need to revise it? I need to revise it. Okay. Well, the first part of the revision is we can get rid of all of this because we're not going to need that at all. We probably are going to need these guys though, so let me just unclear the substations. And yes, I want to lose basically one of these guys and move it over what amounts to about 1.5 beacons. 1.5 beacons. So let's start there and copy to about this point and get rid of that because we won't need it. Oops, gotten rid of one of the beacons. There we go. If you're wondering what I did there, you can sort of shift click to bring back something you've just deleted. Now, I think what we'll do is we'll mark all of this for deletion, except where the beacons are, so that I can then come back and go, okay, I would like that to be about 1.5, which is roughly there. And now let's just confirm that what we've got at this end kind of makes sense. I think so. Let's get our bots out to try and straighten this up. So this one is basically in line with about the 5th of those across. I also want to check that I have 22 now. I haven't screwed that up in the process. Good, I have got the 22. You know, I'm going to do all these calculations and then I'm going to go, actually 23, just so that we have that extra, is a good idea, rather than getting it exact. And you are here, so that's not actually good. Do you know what? I'm going back to the original plan. We'll build the extra one. The cost of one extra machine will be nothing in comparison to the benefit we will get from having it I mean, I remember all my builds in the past have pretty much ended up needing pretty much needed building that extra facility or a couple of extra facilities on furnaces, because for whatever reason they just didn't perform quite as well as expected. And in fact, I'm already seeing that there is very likely to be a problem here just by the sheer amount of stuff we're throwing at it. It's the same problem I had previously. It doesn't matter the supply chest so much, but the electric furnaces, they you need to be fast legs. The electric furnaces have a prodigious quantity of items. The fact that they produce in a very quick time, by the time you've sped it up as much as these are, it's like 11.25, so it's producing 2 or more a second, and in 2 or more a second's time, you need to load up all of this stuff. So I'm thinking these need to be red circuits, and the other things that we want to feed into there are going to need their own and in fact what I'll do is I'll spread it out like that. With inserters, which I have none of. We'll go and get them very shortly. So this one will be copper. No, not copper. It will be red circuits. Probably 100. One of these will be steel. And the other one will be stone brick. We'll have to set up a stone brick manufacturing process. Oh, that's it, this one, isn't it? Stone brick. We'll have to set up a stone brick manufacturing process as well. So I think what we'll do is we'll go and grab a bunch more. I'm not actually going to need those now, am I? I think we have them everywhere we need them. I was seeing if I could do stone bricks here. I can't even do the red circuits here. So we need an absolutely prodigious amount of material. We don't even need this side. That's interesting, isn't it? Let's get rid of it. That will let me reclaim a few of the inserters, which, no, that could be useful. If we have a few of them, I might be able to save going back to base. So let's do this. Let's do this with fast legs. So yeah, this should be changing the request formula on all of these requester chests as we go, which is what part of the reason I'm doing it. Okay, do one of those and then we get rid of the excess. Hover over that. Yes, it has. Good, good. Okay, that is our production blocks for the products that we need. Now, resources. Let's pull this sheet out again. How much iron do we actually need? I don't actually want that calculation, I just want this. So the actual amount of iron that we need is very small. As is the steel that we need, in fact, for the engines. So we could potentially have a smelting facility that makes steel and iron. When you've got to realize you've got to multiply this number effectively by 5 to get the amount of steel that's required relative to this. So it's mind you, there is productivity that comes into it. So this is 7,000, this is 5,000. 5,000 is basically 6,000 with the productivity trends. So yeah, I mean, you need basically 6,000. So it's more or less 50-50. It's not 50-50, but it's more or less 50-50 between a steel smelter and an iron smelter. So what I could do is have a single smelter that produces all of the iron and steel that we need for these engines, and then it's just getting the circuits and the lube sorted. So yeah, that kind of makes sense to me. Let's have a look at our map. I've got this iron. I've got this iron here. We could run a single 820 train off that into a joint smelter that then supplies the two types of trains into here. That sounds good to me. Yeah, that sounds good to me. So let's do that so that we're making progress every episode. Where is my single? I made a second one, didn't I? So that's the single. Okay, I don't need that anymore. Let's do this again. Yeah, we'll go that far. So I want to come back over here, don't I? Yep, okay. Let's just put that there for the moment. Where's my plane? Way over here. Okay, it's not too far away. Now, of course, with my revision to Yellow Science's circuit calculations, I'm basically realizing do I want to try? I don't think I want to try and line it up. I think I want to try and get it so that however I use this facility here, there's room to put more underneath. That's what I think my primary consideration should be. Let's get into InfiniZoom, because you know InfiniZoom is what you want. Something probably like about that looks good. Okay. Oops. Let's get out of InfiniZoom. Run over here. Along here. So one side of this needs to be left as iron and the other side needs to be turned into steel. Can we open this up again? So we also need steel here in the amount of 28,000, which is a lot. That's well, you multiply it by 5, so it's 140,000 iron plates a minute just to support that one. I guess for now we'll just ignore it. But thinking of that, the reason, oh, I see what the thing is. So we've got the ore coming through here. One side of this is steel, one side is iron. The only sensible thing to do is to shunt the guy down. Is this even going to work? We'll find a way to make it work. need that many. Probably don't even need that many. So one thing I want to check, I think the range of these, if I go to where I even have that active, which is up here, it's really hard to see what the range is in fact, but you can see that's the ore. This is where we want it. You can see well, there is enough range to push one line down a bit and still have this within within range. Yeah, I think we'll be good. So the basic idea is this line here is too soon, so we are going to need to copy, say, that, then remove that, so that we can get another line like this one. What don't I need here? Probably all of these actually. Let's do this. Yeah, that's what's going to be an issue, isn't it? Let's do that, and then what did it turn into? That one. And then we are going to need to remove all of these. They're not actually where I wanted them after all. So we want that basically parallel, like so. And now we've turned a supply to 2 stations into a supply to 3. And I need steel, so I need a mock-up of my steel processing to get this sort of number of steel. Where is it? 1458 a minute. That doesn't even seem like a lot, does it? 1458. So before we take the steel, we need to be sure that one of these of steel can supply the amount that we need. So let's do that. Two smelters are not doing what they need to do, and it cannot at that rate. By a tiny bit. We're missing 2 smelters. Okay. Well, we can probably make some of the iron also do steel. So let's see. Let's see about, first of all, 44 smelters, that's only 22 long. Which probably means that we could actually no, the way I've done it, it's not that easy to change it up. So I think that's about even. So that's not enough. How much does an iron give us? Ooh, more tech. Awesome. Level 70 mining productivity. Why not? How much does an iron give us? That would be one side of this. And 12,000 a minute. So the iron is easily in excess of the sort of half of that we need. So what I should probably do is convert one or two sections over to steel. One section would do. One section would do. So that's what we will do. We'll come back to where we are. We're here. So what I need is, it's basically half. A half section, is it? Yes, it is actually. I can't, the way I've set it up, it takes half of one of these sides to do the steel, but that's fine. So you get to a point, actually you can't even see from here. Oh yes, you can. So it gets to this point where it just breaks. So these are steel. No, these are, that one's missing an output. Doesn't that need an output? Yes, it's missing an output. It's a fault. In the design. Where did I get that design from? Some idiot didn't do it right. Okay, so that is the steel design. That is exactly 11 across. Now this is 23. So if we go in about 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do we start on? We don't start on anything. I guess we'll go 7 then. That leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's a requester. Oh, we don't need one at that end, right? So we could actually go back to there, which is where we actually wanted to. Should be 6 at both ends if we do it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, there are. Good, good, good. Okay. So if I come over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one goes into there, and then from here onwards to that point, it gets replaced with this version. That makes steel. Oh, I have missed. No. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I've forgotten to get rid of that one. That's better. So, it makes steel here and all on this side. The rest of it makes iron, and I'm pretty sure it will make enough. So we have a steel. This bottom one is steel. The oh, this stayed in the way. I should have got rid of that. We need some rail. We need to get rid of these guys for now. And then we've got the iron. We have the steel. We don't have the lube. Iron and steel. That will make the engines. We need lube and we need circuits. Okay, I think what I'll do is grab some material. Where's the plane? Way over there, of course. Grab some material, start building these out, and yeah, that's pretty much our episode, I think. Work out where we're going to get the circuits from next episode, because obviously we are not going to get them from where we were making Yellow Science. It's going to need all of that after all, and I might need to do a bit of a recalc on the iron possibly if we are making less red and more green circuits. We might need more iron. I'm not sure about that bit. So what are we going to get first? Miners or beacons? Forget how many miners we're even going to need. Auto trash. Let's get rid of that auto trash. Let's start with some miners. Say 400. And we'll fill out the rest with beacons. Oh. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have put that guy there. No, that was perfectly right actually. Let's get rid of that out of there. We're going to want furnaces in the amount of 100. We've got 100 of those. We're going to need more of these boxes. That's just not going to be enough. Oh, 200 maybe. So yeah, we'll get like 50 beacons. I suppose it's better than nothing. Gives the little base something to do. Guys, what we'll do is I'll slap these down and I'll do the rest between episodes, because I think we are we've been rabbiting on for easily long enough. But just so you can see, it's not all happening by magic. Oh my god, this is a long way, isn't it? Is that GPS I keep talking about? you come out. Let's come over here, get all these guys down first. Got any coffee left? A tiny bit. Yeah, I really should have this feeding into a single passive provider chest, rather than using this double design to reduce the. It's more important to reduce the bot's decision making than it is to have more optimized coverage of the miners. Oh, we didn't need 400 at all, not even close. Okay, you can go up there. Although, what we will do is add a few more. Add a few more of these guys. Do I have a mini? No, that's massive. It's even more massive. Do I really need that at the moment? Who knows what all these things are? I just want a little pattern that we can plop down here. For a little bit of extra. A little bit of extra action. Now let's come over here, do the same sort of thing. So much for that rail. And yeah, I'll end here. So thanks for joining me, guys. Things are starting to take shape. It always takes longer than you think, but that's gigabasing for you. See you next time, guys. Bye bye for now.